Hey everyone, Dr. Cool Autofix here. Today we're diving into 20 common car repair scams that some shady shops use to try and overcharge customers. We've all been there, right? You take your car in for a simple oil change and suddenly you're hit with a laundry list of urgent repairs. But don't worry, I'm here to arm you with the knowledge you need to fight back. We're gonna break down these scams one by one, and I'll give you a realistic idea of what these repairs should actually cost. That way you can walk into any shop with confidence knowing you won't be taken advantage of. Remember, knowledge is power, and when it comes to car repair, that power can save you a ton of money. So buckle up, because we're about to expose some of the sneakiest tricks in the book. By the end of this video, you'll be a pro at spotting these scams from a mile away. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with a classic engine air filter scam. Your engine air filter is super important. A dirty air filter can restrict airflow and hurt your fuel economy. Some shops will show you a dirty air filter and tell you it needs to be replaced at every oil change, but most engine air filters can last 12 to 30,000 miles. It's a super easy DIY job, so next time just smile and say, "I'll take care of that myself." Beware of the cabin air filter scam. It cleans the air you breathe inside your car, traps dust, pollen, and allergens. Mechanics may claim it needs frequent replacement, but it usually lasts 15 to 30,000 miles. Costs $15 to $50. Easy DIY job. Usually behind the glove box or under the dashboard. Don't fall for overpriced replacements. Check your owner's manual. Alright guys, let's talk about brake pads. Shops might say your brake pads are dangerously low, but having 40% left isn't dangerous. Most pads last 30 to 70,000 miles. Listen for screeching sounds or inspect them yourself. Get a second opinion if unsure. Don't fall for the brake pad scam. So you just got your brake pads replaced and now the shop is telling you that you also need to resurface or even replace your brake rotors? This is another classic car repair scam. Rotors are designed to last through multiple brake pad changes. Unless you notice significant grooves or damage, they likely don't need resurfacing. For regular maintenance, resurfacing or replacing rotors with every brake pad change is overkill. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to avoiding these scams. Alright guys, let's talk about transmission fluid. Shops love to inflate your bill with unnecessary services. They'll tell you that you need a complete transmission fluid flush every 30,000 miles. But most modern cars don't need a full transmission flush that often. Many manufacturers recommend a simple drain and fill every 60,000 to 100,000 miles. Always refer to your owner's manual for your specific car's recommended maintenance schedule. Ask your mechanic what service they're recommending and why. Remember, you're in control. Alright guys, let's talk power steering. Now some shops might try to tell you that you need a power steering fluid flush every time you get your oil changed. That's just not true. Most modern cars these days, they use power steering fluid that's designed to last a really long time. I'm talking like 100,000 miles or even more in some cases. Yeah, you heard that right, 100,000 miles. If you're not sure about your car, the best thing to do is check your owner's manual. That'll tell you exactly what your car manufacturer recommends for your specific model. Now if you do need to flush your power steering fluid, it's not a super expensive job. You're looking at around 50 to 150 bucks if you go to a trustworthy mechanic. But some of these scam shops, they'll try to charge you double, even triple that price. They'll hit you with some fancy sounding terms, try to make it seem like a really complicated procedure. Don't fall for it. Remember, knowledge is power, and knowing what your car really needs can save you a ton of money in the long run. So stay informed and don't let these shady shops take you for a ride. Hey guys, Chris Fix here, and today we're tackling another common car repair scam: fuel injector cleaning. Now, fuel injectors are super important. They spray fuel into your engine, and keeping them clean is key for good performance and fuel efficiency. But some shops will try to tell you that you need a professional fuel injector cleaning every time you come in for service. Here's the truth. Modern gasoline actually has detergents built in. That's right, every time you fill up your tank, you're giving your fuel injectors a little bit of a cleaning. These detergents do a pretty good job of keeping things clean, especially if you're using good quality fuel. Now, if you're having issues like rough idling, poor acceleration, or your check engine light is on, then yeah, you might have a clogged injector, but even then, you can often clean them yourself with a fuel injector cleaner you add right to your gas tank. These cleaners are super easy to use and way cheaper than a professional cleaning. You can pick up a bottle for like 10 bucks, sometimes even less. So, don't let a shop convince you that you need this service every time you visit. If your car is running fine, chances are your fuel injectors are doing just fine too. Alright, let's talk engine flushes. Now this is a classic car repair scam that shops love to pull on unsuspecting drivers. They'll show you your dipstick, point at the dark oil, and tell you it's all sludged up, that your engine's about to seize up unless you get an engine flush, right? Well, hold your horses. Here's the deal. Modern engines, especially those running on synthetic oil, are designed to prevent sludge buildup. Synthetic oil has superior cleaning properties that keep your engine much cleaner than conventional oil ever could. As long as you're changing your oil regularly, like every 3,000 to 5,000 miles for conventional or 7,500 to 10,000 miles for synthetic, you're good to go. Now, if you've been neglecting your oil changes, driving with the same oil for like 10,000, 15,000 miles, yeah, you might have a sludge problem. But for most people who are keeping up with their car's maintenance, an engine flush is completely unnecessary. These flushes can actually do more harm than good. Some of the chemicals they use can be harsh on your engine's seals and gaskets. So save your money, stick to regular oil changes with the right oil, and your engine will be happy and healthy for miles to come. Alright guys, let's talk about coolant flushes. Now, coolant is super important. It keeps your engine running cool and prevents it from overheating. But here's the scam. Some shops will tell you that you need a coolant flush every 30,000 miles like it's clockwork. The truth is, most modern cars use long-life coolant, and I'm talking long life. This stuff can last you up to 100,000 miles or even more. So, don't fall for the 30,000-mile flush trick. Check your owner's manual to see what's recommended for your car. Now, if you do need a coolant flush, the fair price should be somewhere between $80 to $150. But those shady shops, they'll try to hit you with a bill for $200 to $400. That's just ridiculous. Remember, knowledge is power. By knowing when your car actually needs a coolant flush, you can avoid getting ripped off and save yourself a good chunk of change. Hey guys, we all know that sinking feeling when your car won't start. But don't let a dead battery scare you into an expensive scam. Some shops will try to tell you that your battery is bad even if it's still cranking the engine just fine. They might use fancy jargon or show you a test that says your battery is on its last legs. But here's the deal. A car battery typically lasts between 3 to 6 years. If your battery is relatively new and your car starts without a problem, don't let them talk you into a replacement. A fair price for a new car battery is usually around $100 to $250, depending on the type and brand. But those scam artists will try to charge you anywhere from $300 to $500 for the same battery. So before you shell out big bucks for a new battery, do your research. If you're unsure, take your car to a trusted mechanic or parts store that offers free battery testing. Don't let them pull a fast one on you. Alright guys, ever heard of the alternator? It's the powerhouse of your car's electrical system, keeping your battery charged and everything running smoothly. But, here's the scam. Some shops will jump to replacing your alternator even when it's the battery that's weak. See, a failing battery can put extra strain on your alternator, making it seem like the alternator is the problem. But here's the thing, alternators are built to last. They can often go for 100,000 miles or more without needing replacement. Now, if your alternator does go bad, expect to pay around $250 to $500 for a replacement. That's a fair price. But those scam shops, they'll try to slap you with a bill for $700 to $1,500. That's insane. So what should you do? First, get your battery tested. If it's weak, replace it first. Then if you're still having charging issues, have a trusted mechanic check your alternator's voltage output. Don't let them alternator ate your wallet. Alright guys, let's talk about oxygen sensors, those little guys screwed into your exhaust manifold. Now, a shop might try to tell you your O2 sensor needs replacing, even if you haven't noticed any problems. They might say something vague like, it's getting old or it'll prevent future issues, but here's the deal. Oxygen sensors are designed to last a long time and they usually don't just fail out of nowhere. You'll know if your oxygen sensor is bad because your check engine light will come on. The car's computer will even store a code that tells you which sensor is having problems. So don't let a shop pressure you into replacing a perfectly good oxygen sensor. If your check engine light isn't on, and your car is running smoothly, chances are your oxygen sensor is doing just fine. And when you do need a new one, you can usually find them online for a fraction of what a shop will charge. A fair price for an oxygen sensor replacement, including labor, should be between $100 to $300, but some shops might try to hit you with a bill for $400 to $800. Don't fall for it. Alright guys, next up we're tackling spark plug scams. Some shops will tell you to replace your spark plugs every 30,000 miles like clockwork. They might even show you a worn-out spark plug as proof that yours are about to go kaput. But hold on a minute. Modern spark plugs, especially the iridium ones, are built to last way longer than that. We're talking 80,000 miles, 100,000 miles, even 120,000 miles in some cases. Changing them out early is just throwing money away. Now, if you're experiencing engine misfires, rough idling, or decreased fuel economy, those could be signs your spark plugs are on their way out. But even then, it's always a good idea to check your owner's manual for the recommended service interval. Remember, preventative maintenance is great, but unnecessary replacements are just a waste of your hard-earned cash. A fair price for spark plug replacement, including labor, is usually between $80 and $200. Some shops might try to charge you double or even triple that amount for no good reason. Next up, let's talk about shocks and struts. Now, these components are crucial for a smooth and controlled ride. Some shops might try to tell you that you need to replace all your shocks and struts at 50,000 miles, regardless of their condition. They might claim it's standard procedure or that it'll improve your ride. But here's the truth. Shocks and struts can last much longer than that, often exceeding 80,000 miles, and even reaching 150,000 miles in some cases. Unless you're noticing signs of wear and tear like leaking fluid, a bouncy ride, or uneven tire wear, there's no need to shell out big bucks for replacements. Of course, regular inspections are important. You can do a quick bounce test yourself by pushing down on each corner of your car. If it bounces more than once or twice after you let go, it might be time for new shocks or struts. But don't let a shop pressure you into unnecessary replacements. Replacing all 4 shocks and struts can cost anywhere from $400 to $1,000 or more, depending on your vehicle. However, some unscrupulous shops might try to charge you an outrageous $1,500 to $3,000 for this service. Let's talk about the serpentine belt, the unsung hero under your hood. This belt powers everything from your alternator to your power steering pump. Shops might say it needs replacing early, but minor cracks are normal. These belts last 60 to 100,000 miles. Don't fall for scare tactics, check it yourself and save cash. Alright guys, time for a serious talk about the timing belt. This belt is critical. It keeps your engine's valves and pistons in sync. If it snaps, you're looking at catastrophic engine failure. Some shops might tell you it needs replacing way earlier than it should. Check your owner's manual for the recommended interval. Most timing belts last between 60,000 to 100,000 miles. Don't overpay. A fair price is around $500 to $1,000. Do your research, shop around, and don't let anyone scare you into an unnecessary repair. Let's talk about the exhaust system. It's built to last but exposed to the elements. Some shops push for a new system when a repair will do. A little rust is normal, don't replace it all just yet. Surface rust is common, it takes more to compromise the system. Holes or leaks are different. You might not need a full replacement. Patching can save you money. A patch costs less than a new system. Get a second opinion. Ask if a repair is possible. A little welding can save you a ton. Alright guys, this next scam is a real tire kicker and it's all about unnecessary tire alignments. Now some shops will try to tell you that you need an alignment every single time you get your oil changed. They'll say it's routine maintenance or that it's just a good idea, but here's the truth. Alignments aren't like oil changes. You don't need them on a set schedule. In fact, most cars can go tens of thousands of miles without needing an alignment. Think of it this way, your car's alignment is like the frame of a house. It's not something that goes out of whack every other month. The only time you really need an alignment is if you notice your car pulling to one side while you're driving, or if your tires are wearing unevenly. Like, if the inside tread is wearing way faster than the outside tread, that's a sign you might need an alignment. So don't let a shop pressure you into an alignment unless you've noticed one of those symptoms. A fair price for an alignment is usually between $75 and $150. Some shops might try to charge you double that, so always shop around and get a second opinion if something seems fishy. This common scam preys on your fear of streaky wipers. Shops often claim your wipers need replacing prematurely. Wiper blades should last 6 months to a year. Clean them first. You might extend their life. If needed, buy and install new ones yourself. It's easy and saves money. So, you're driving along, minding your own business, and bam! That annoying low tire pressure light pops on. It's happened to all of us, right? Now some shops might try to hit you with the, "Oh, it's definitely a bad TPMS sensor, gotta replace it" line. And while it's true, TPMS sensors do eventually wear out, they often last a good long time. Before you shell out big bucks for a new sensor, let's do a little detective work, alright? First things first, check your tire pressure. I'm serious, it sounds obvious, but sometimes it really is just a matter of adding a few PSI. Temperature changes, especially going from hot to cold, can cause your tire pressure to fluctuate. If your tire pressure is good, the next culprit could be the sensor battery. Just like any battery, they don't last forever. Luckily, replacing a TPMS sensor battery is way cheaper than replacing the whole sensor. And hey, if you're feeling really ambitious, you can even find videos online showing you how to do it yourself. Of course, if you're not comfortable with that, a trusted mechanic can handle it for you. The key here is to be informed, and don't just automatically assume the worst-case scenario. So there you have it, folks. We just busted 20 common car repair scams that could save you thousands of dollars in unnecessary repairs. Remember, knowledge is your best defense against shady mechanics. Always ask to see the bad part before they replace anything. Don't be afraid to get a second opinion, especially for expensive repairs. And hey, become best friends with your owner's manual. It's got a wealth of information about your car's recommended service intervals. A simple code reader can also be your best friend. You can pick one up for cheap these days and it'll tell you exactly what that check engine light means. And don't underestimate the power of DIY. Small fixes like changing air filters, wiper blades, and even batteries are totally doable and a great way to save some cash. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did, leave a comment down below with your own car repair scam stories, and subscribe to the channel for more car maintenance tips and tricks. Remember, an informed car owner is a happy car owner. Until next time, keep on wrenching.